Welcome to Corporate Nights. My name is Jide Aboderi and I'm your host. My guest tonight is the self-acclaimed leader of the revival. He's a rapper, an MC, and dare I say, the only surviving MC with an MSc. Just 10 years ago, he was on track to being a medical practitioner, and today he's the first rapper signed by Africa's leading record label, Maven Records. OK Africa credits him for putting Nigerian music back on the map. True to his name, he's a poet and one of Africa's finest lyricists. Welcome, Ladipoe. Welcome, my good friend. Welcome, Poe.
Yeah, I like that. I like the intro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where do we start from, Ladipoe? You know what, Poe? You were scheduled to be here at a much later date, and I don't know. Just by being the amazing guy that you agreed to come on a much earlier after I cried out to you.
Maybe go back now.
So I'm going to start with a funny question. Why are you such a nice guy? Is it an act? Is it a ladies thing, or are you just naturally a nice guy?
I find it funny because people say that, but I've always been the kind of person that I treat people how I want to be treated.
Okay.
Always. That is my default mode, right? But the minute a person takes that as something that they can cross the line or disrespect, they will see the other side so fast. They will forget the nice guy ever existed.
I certainly don't want to see that side. Okay, so now to the more serious stuff, yeah? This edition, the Poe edition of Corporate Nights is called, How My Decade Went. And that's as straightforward as it gets. This is the year 2020. A lot of people would describe it as the year of the virus. I know that 10 years ago, you were not rapping. Where were you 10 years ago?
10
Do you
years
remember?
ago. That's a good question, actually. What was I 10 years ago? I was probably in school. I was probably in school 10 years ago. And
Did Poe exist 10 years ago?
did he exist? Yes and no. Because Poe itself was a nickname, right? So when I was a Yankee, they couldn't pronounce. First of all, they used to pronounce Ladipoe as Ladipoe.
Okay.
Right? Okay. And so my roommate at the time couldn't even pronounce that. He struggled. So he shortened that to Poe, and that became my nickname. And so Poe existed, yes, but not as a rapper.
What amazes me is how, everybody credits you for being one of the best lyricists in Africa, and the name Poe or Ladipoe rhymes with poets.
I'm telling you,
I'm not going to go too deep into this, but your record label Maven signed a sort of a multi-million dollar deal recently, or in 2018, that definitely has changed the dynamics. How would you say that single deal with one of Africa's largest record label has affected the African music scene generally? What has it potentially done for the African music scene?
To me, I think Maven's deal with Kupanda, which makes them Maven Global, I think that it is a beacon to businesses here and abroad, mainly abroad, that there is something exciting happening here. Absolutely. And, the notion that, bankable deals don't exist or a lot of money has to go into bankable deals, I think it changes that to, if you want a bankable deal, you have to create it. And I think that's what Maven and Kupanda did. So it's exciting. It appealed to the side of me that, loves, that went to business school. Yeah, the business side, because it's like, this is an interesting deal. It's one of the key reasons why I decided, I think I'm going to stay with Maven, because they're doing things that are exciting.
During the lockdown, there were 3 Nigerian songs that were global sensations thanks to platforms like TikTok, and your song with See Me Know You was one of, I'll say the biggest of all 3, precisely because of the lyrics and all of that. While I was preparing for this meeting, I realized that the song was actually written in 2017, and you kept it on ice since then. Was that planned? Did you release it now because of the situation, or what was that? Was it a genius move, or was it a stroke of luck?
That's a good question. First off, it was the biggest song on TikTok.
How big was it?
See, to be honest, I just got some new information yesterday.
Okay.
The hashtag itself saw 45 million views.
45 million.
It's astounding. It's astounding. Of course, some of those views would be attributed to other people using the hashtag for other content.
Yeah, of course.
But the hashtag that we created saw 45 million views, and that's staggering. It got maybe over 150,000 videos came in on TikTok, so it was pretty.
That's in terms of response to the challenge.
Yes, response to the challenge. So that was amazing. I couldn't have predicted it, although it was something that I wanted to see happen. But in terms of the timing of the song, I had the song I've written in 2017 with Simi. You know, we sat down and wrote the song together. And I wasn't initially ready to put it out because I don't believe in putting out songs without plans. I don't believe in giving a song half a chance, you know. So I kept it for a while. Also, there's some things I feel like they weren't finished. 2019, crossover to 2020, I had, okay, this is what I want to do to the song. This is how I want it to be.
So what made you release it at the time you released it?
Because I saw the tone of the world was going towards isolation, distance.
Yeah.
And the phrase in my mind was, physical distance doesn't mean emotional distance. And I'm like, know you fills that gap perfectly. This is the song that you listen to because you miss this person, or because you don't have the words to say to this person, you know. So because there was another song I wanted to put out, but once I saw how things were shaping up, I was like, look, no, use the song. And my team too as well. I have a great team.
Absolutely. One of the things I said to you before this interview was that we shouldn't make this about the music. We should make it about the person. And usually. I usually start the interview sessions by telling the listeners or the viewers how long I've known the guest for. And with you, I've known you for what, 2 decades? If my daughter was born when I met you, I'll probably be a grandfather by now. But I'll tell you what, I remember you being, we actually went to school together, right?
Yeah.
Paul and I went to school together. I remember you being the quiet guy. I remember you being very smart, very quiet. But you were not one of, I mean, our friend Rami Dada and Timola Kola, who I used to rap at school every day. I never heard you rap.
Unfortunately.
At what point did you know you were going to become a rapper? At what point did you first say, you know what, I'm going to do this music thing?
You know, definitely not in school. You know,
it
wasn't, there was no part of me that even saw myself in the space. You know, when I was in college was when I started to get the inclination, because a friend of mine who he rapped, you know, casually, you know, him and another guy, they eventually became my little group in school called Lyrically Equipped. But he had a song, and I'm like, for some reason I cannot explain to you, I told him, leave this song with me, I really like it. And by the next morning I'd written like what we call 16 bars to it, a verse to it, and I can't tell you why. But since that day, the, if you want to call it obsession, addiction, you know, affiliation, whatever it is, that hasn't left me, just it was overwhelming. I needed to be part of this thing and get better at it because it was something I really enjoyed, you know. So I've now, you know, taken it to another level now. So absolutely.
And you know, thanks to people like Don Jazzy and Tega, we're just talking about Tega, who didn't give up on their quest to, you know, pull the trigger on signing you or making you part of the Maven family. And apart from those guys, I know you've also partnered or you've also created music with people like Fowls, obviously Simi, MI, and other great artists. But one particular group or one particular act, SDC, you know, cannot be mentioned. Well, I mean, your first major association. What impact would you say Tech and Ghost, and Wale also went to school with us, by the way, if you remember. How much of your career would you actually credit to SDC? Your career today?
I think at the end of the day, like, it's a good question because the early association with them is what introduced me to the Nigerian music scene. And I didn't even know that Wale went to our school at all. I knew his brother, but I didn't even know his brother had a brother at the time.
Okay.
But their role was critical because, yeah, I could rap, but I wasn't making music here. I didn't know anybody here in that scene. They introduced me to a network that I've largely kept till today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, like even the producer that mixed Know You, the engineer, his name is Icon. Icon is a producer that I met when Wale and, Tech and Ghost. When Tech invited me to the studio, the first connection was with Tech.
Okay.
Then from there I met Ghost. I knew one of my other cousins is also in the larger STC group. He was there. We now like,
yeah, a lot of people thought you were in STC.
Yes, exactly. So it started that whole conversation. But then it's interesting. It was them that said, look, Paul, like, we know what you're about. We see the potential. You have to start releasing your own music. People thinking that you're a third member of the group doesn't make sense. If they knew what we know. So they even pushed me out the door like, bro, go do your thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do have one more question for you. Before I ask that question, I just need to speak to my people. Guys, if you enjoyed my session with Ladipoe, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't miss any future shows. You're an MBA, you completed your studies and you then started your music career. A lot of young guys out there probably listening to us today, a lot of young up-and-coming or potentially up-and-coming artists and rappers who are struggling with the idea of school versus music,
Yeah.
whether to complete school first or to leave school and jump into music, or to do one at a time. What would you say to the upcoming entertainment act who is thinking of quitting school or going on to finish their studies before school?
I'm not going to say that, finish school is great. It is, but it's deeper than that. You find when you get into music that talent isn't everything. It is a nice to have. It is not mandatory per se. You can still be successful in this space with limited talent. Don't get me wrong though, I am talented. But for me...
And you are talented.
Thank you. And to me, but you realize that you rely on more aspects of your personality and your skill set when you're in music. Those are the things that draw people in, because you create a brand not just around your music, but who you are as an individual, the things you like to do, the things that you're good at, the things that, so if you speak multiple languages, all of a sudden people find that's cool. The fact that you can cook really well, and where did you learn it? You learned it when you went to school, or because your Indomie is fire. All those things.
All this is make up who you are.
Make up who you are, and that's what people like about you, not just the music. So for me, finishing the aspects of finishing your education gives you a leg up. Can you afford to go into this without that leg up? If you really absolutely feel that you can, and you think that's the best way for you, then look, I can't knock anybody's journey. But to me, I know what it gave me, my kind of thinking. And I'm not in music. I'm in music, and music has a business component. I don't want anybody to take advantage of me. And because of what I've studied, I am more... You
want to apply that into
absolutely,
what you do today.
100%.
Absolutely.
I don't think I would have that skill set if I didn't finish my courses.
And that's why you've been described as the smartest rapper. Guys, if you're inspired by my session with Ladipoe, you really don't want to miss our next episode on Corporate Nights, same time next week on YouTube. Thank you.